G'day everybody, and welcome to the happy hour, and welcome to my old mate 43 OG. How you going there, buddy?
I'm well, thanks, mate. How are you?
All good in the hood? Oh yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Just got pumped up from that intro. That was
Oh yeah, I love it.
RH, getting the crowd going.
How'd you go yesterday? We had Anzac Day, public holiday. Yesterday here in Australia.
That's it. I'll just
lest we forget
my beer. Yes, lest we forget indeed. And cheers to those veterans who are serving and have served. And yeah, look, it was pretty solemn, to be honest. But
you should never, even though most of the Anzacs are no longer with us, we should never forget what was sacrificed for.
That is true. That's the whole point of it, isn't it?
What we have in the country of Australia, which is a beautiful country with beautiful people and, freedom, democracy. And we shouldn't forget that that's what people died for. That's what people sacrificed their lives for. We should never forget that. And, some people who are in Parliament should probably remember that as well. Hey?
Oh, my
Jackie
God.
Lambie, you should remember that.
She's such a Karen. Can't believe that. She's such an embarrassment. I tell you what. Yeah, that's some foolish, that's some childish stuff. She's trying to ban Twitter or something and bloody put Elon in jail. Shut the fuck up. Come on, man. What is she on about? Just sit at the kids' table, please, while the adults talk. Far out.
Yeah.
What is she talking about? What is she on about? I cannot believe that she was seriously saying that she should put Elon in jail. I mean, is that just...
I think she's
just brain malfunctioning, or is she just...
I don't know. I think she's attention? Just not smart, dude. I don't think she's a very smart person.
Look, I've thought about maybe that these people need to have an IQ test and an age limit for our politicians because, you've got one side of the coin with Biden reading the teleprompter the other day going, 4 more years, pause, not realizing that the pause is for him to pause. It's like, bro, do you teleprompter much? And then just...
Dude, he should have that down by now, don't you reckon? Like how many years in politics? Wasn't he like a VP to Obama for 8 years? Like he should have the teleprompter down by now.
Come on, man.
Talk about a Manchurian candidate gone wrong, man.
Oh man, that's what I was saying. An age limit would help this shit, and maybe an IQ limit as well, because Jackie Lambie, she was just saying some embarrassing stuff during the week. So anyway, oh look, old mate True Blues here with the white feeder on. How you going there, buddy?
Hey, how are you? What's happening?
That's a term of endearment, by the way.
Heck yeah, it is.
Just the singlet.
A soon to be censored term of endearment, I reckon.
Yeah.
Last day.
Yeah. Sorry, say again, mate.
Oh, I don't know how much longer that term will last, but it's probably not politically correct anymore, anyway. But
yeah, we probably should put that one back in the Q rack. That one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, how you been, True Blue?
Not bad. Just doing a bit of yard work and stuff, hanging up new gutters and getting ready for winter.
Oh,
so yeah,
nice,
loving it. What about you guys? What have you been talking about for the past 5 minutes?
I was just ranting about the government.
Lovely.
Standard.
It's always a good one.
Yeah. 43 and I were just talking about
how intelligent Jackie Lambie was or is. Just like the height of
that's a dead end, man.
And like such a smart person. Just someone that when I hear her speaking makes me feel like just elevates everyone. I can just tell it's elevating everyone who's listening to her.
Elevating their anger. Yeah. I mean, she's from Tasmania. Yeah.
Oh, she's from Tassie. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I know quite a few people from Tassie. I'm not from Tassie, but and they're really nice people. So I would hate to tarnish all Tassie people with the same brush, but she's not doing them any favors as far as optics go.
Yeah. Look.
Yeah.
we won't make any jokes or cast aspersions on Tasmanians, but they do get left off the map quite a lot. So
they do,
you know,
they do. You know, that Jackie Lambie goes pretty hard. She when she gets on a rant, she a bit like Pauline Hanson. You see her get onto something, but I tend to like Pauline Hanson's views a bit better than Jackie Lambie a lot of the time.
They're
But
all
that's saying
as
something.
thick as two short planks, mate. They're all as they're all
Yeah.
thick as two short planks, if you ask me.
That's right.
Some of the stuff she was saying, she goes, "Oh, she's going to cancel her Twitter app, like X. She's going to uninstall it, and then she's going to encourage all of the 200 politicians to uninstall it." It's like, good, jog on. Like, no one cares. No one cares about your
Meanwhile,
200. What are you doing?
She kept the Jackie Lambie network one. Like she had her personal one, but she also had the Jackie Lambie network Twitter account, which she did not delete. So she's a hypocrite as well as an idiot.
So the other thing is she's probably never had so much engagement either.
Yeah,
so
I wonder if
why
it's
would
not
you destroy the hand that's feeding you type thing. She's probably doing a right off of it. So yeah.
Look, we probably shouldn't dwell on it too much because I feel like I'm getting dumber just listening to her and entertaining her. But it's just it just boggles the mind that you can think that you can sort of police the world's content. Australia is a pretty small country, and not physically, obviously it's massive, but like our population and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, to just think that they can censor an app. I mean, I guess the US are doing it with TikTok, and at the moment there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. I mean, all the politicians are doing stupid stuff. They're trying to ban self-custody by making hardware wallets effectively brokers, and some other dumb stuff. So
there's things that you can like do and actually police, and then there's things that they can just legislate but not be able to police. And I think
that's true. How can they enforce it? Yeah,
you can't police it. Like there's no way that you can actually. So a law that's made that can't be policed and people in crypto don't follow or listen to, like how do you solve that? Like it's I think it's silly. There's plenty of countries around the world where they make laws that just don't work. And if they tried to make that law anywhere in the world, it's just not going to work. It just won't.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Outlaw maths, by the way. That's what we're doing. We're outlawing maths. You can't do maths.
That's right.
On your calculator, and you can't publish it. You can't publish it on the internet.
Memes are banned. Did you see the Prime Minister Albo? He's so forgettable. But I just saw him I haven't seen him for ages, and he comes on and he's like, there are people out there that are taking images and they're putting other images on top of those images, and it's just outrageous. And it's like, bro, we're talking about memes. Like, I mean, what? I'm going to meme that just because that is the silliest thing, and just put a clown wig on him or something, just because it's just so silly.
No, they should just say that. They need to get like some dude in his Speedos, right? Just superimpose Albo's face on it, like AI, just him saying those words like in Speedos.
Yeah,
like that would be hilarious.
Yeah,
it's crazy trying to ban memes, man. What? Anyway, let's just try and keep it a little bit more sensible and say hello to the chat here. We've got Red Squirrel, oi oi, PulseX. If you say that real fast, it sounds funny. Elon and RH were cellmates. I want to see that TV show. Yeah, that would be interesting. Anything. I think at this point we would literally just want to see Richard streaming from anywhere. I guess because it's just
just give us a stream. Yeah, don't care where it's from.
Alpha fellas, Kinto checks his thoughts on the whole PDI stable narrative if it comes on. Yeah, so I said in the tweet that I put out that we sometimes have like surprise guests. It's because it's a surprise to me as well. So the surprise could be that there are no guests, or it could literally just be like Jexo might just fully pop up like any moment, or Bluey, or Tangent. and pretty much anyone else that's like keen. So yeah, but I don't know if he's coming on to answer the question. Yaveen, how you going there? Hey y'all. Base Radiant, what's up? What's up? Maddie's in the house. Let's go. Yes, Maddie has been busy. Gesundheit. He's got a SAC going at the moment, and he's got the PulseChain conference coming up. And I think he was chatting to that Roaring Kitty guy, or possibly a fake Roaring Kitty guy. Because I don't know if that was legit or not. But anyway, he's been busy nonetheless. So thanks for your efforts, Maddie.
Yeah, I'm usually right on top of his streams, but I haven't been able to catch up sort of this week, so gonna have to get onto it. But yeah, hey Clintrons. Yeah.
There has been heaps going on. I was just going to pull up briefly. I think you were talking about this, True Blue, last week, that Ben Armstrong might be making a new meme coin on PulseChain, which could be interesting.
Yeah.
One thing that I thought was funny, though, I'll just pull this up. Let's see if you guys can hear this.
Solana within a week or two.
Can you hear that?
Have been on there months ago. And tell you, I've got the best idea for a coin. Best idea for a meme coin here. I'm sorry, I did not want to interrupt you because I know you're going to serious. It's really
this is music to my ears.
And we're going to say it again. We're going to let you say it again so I can hear it this time. But I'm here to tell you, in my brain, I have came up with the best dick meme coin joke ever. It's going to blow your 9 inches away. Well, I'm going to tell you as soon as we get off here, and we're going to run with this, and it is going to be freaking.
That was so funny. I just laughed so hard because I didn't know much about it, and I was like, okay, meme coin, and then he's like, the best dick meme coin. I'm like, oh, that's just what we needed, is another dick joke.
Another one. Yeah. They seem to do all right, don't they? So we'll see. We'll see. But 9 inch has been pumping off that sort of news, and they've sort of been building it up lately with a lot of the tokens that are tied to it moving up. So gaining some interest. Good.
So I heard on the grapevine that maybe there was going to be, because you know how they've got that single-sided staking.
Yeah.
There might be, but yeah, it's like you have to pay. I think it's like a 2% deposit fee or something like that. So that's probably the con side of it, like the pros and cons. The pros is that you don't get impermanent loss because you can just put in your PLSX, for example, and just generate yield in the form of the BBC token. So it is single-sided staking. But apparently they were going to put SolidX in there. And but the way I heard it was someone was saying that they were going to make it so you could stake BBC and get SolidX. And I was like, oh, that's almost the opposite way around. Like normally you stake the asset and you get BBC. So, but then, so maybe that's why BBC is pumping, because people are thinking, if I can stake BBC and get SolidX, because SolidX has been doing okay. But yeah, I don't know that for sure. That's just like word on the street.
Yeah, so when you mint a token from on 9 inch, you can actually put part of that into a pool that can be there to be able to be as rewards for a staking mechanism. So they could deposit, you could deposit any token in there, and it allows it to be able to be rewarded for staking. So yeah, I think the whole Solid Index thing with Crispy and Axis and Randy's coins and stuff is going to be trialing out a new experiment where you can stake to reward those tokens as well. So should be very interesting to see what it does to the market of them.
That's really cool, man. Yeah, that's pretty exciting. And there's been a lot of like Tangang coins and things that have been coming up. There's the Cheetan, even Dick with Bart, as much as like the
it's going well, hasn't it? It had a huge pump
and stuff
earlier today. A massive pump. Yeah.
So that's awesome. Shout out to the Tangang. That's awesome that they're doing that. And I was going to say, there's a feature on that pulsecoinlist.com, which is a pretty awesome site just for many reasons, but it does have this just listed thing here. It's got top
Okay.
gainers. So there's kind of like the coin market crap sort of thing where you can have the biggest gainers, biggest losers, that sort of thing. But I thought, that just listed thing, that actually might be interesting if you're like, I mean, most of these are rugs, right? So you got to be, someone's launched a bricks
Oh,
coin.
lovely.
Yeah, so like most of these are rugs, right? So, but because it tells you the time, the age of it, like this was launched 4 hours ago. So if you were like trying to snipe some whatever coin, I don't
How
know.
quick do they get added to that though?
Good
It's not
question.
automatic,
Good question. Yeah, because Deck Screener kind of has its own thing like that, doesn't it? So if I go to PulseChain, although no, I just realized that's only going to show everything. But yeah, if people want me to look at other coins or whatever at the end, I'll be happy to look at that. But yeah, I'm sort of mainly been interested in the Hex and Pulse and that sort of stuff. The fib levels have been surprisingly being, what's the word? Respected.
Yeah.
So this is on the weekly. This is Hex, and I did the fib from up to the week here, and it looked like it was kind of being respected at this 78.6. It nearly busted into this next level up, got rejected, and it didn't close above it. And then now it's just sitting above that that level there. So hopefully we're forming a bottom here, and we can go up, because yeah, it has been pretty brutal price action. And then the other thing is, I think on Pulse has a very similar look where, it's also got this diagonal support, which has been really interesting. So same deal with the fibs levels. It seemed like it wicked down and bounced off this 61.8% from the top, and then it kind of went above this 50%, which I was really bullish on. Couldn't close above it, back down, and then now it's sitting right on this sort of diagonal support here. So I'm kind of hoping that this is going to be respected, and we're going to get a little bit of a pump off this, a bit of a bounce, because if that breaks down, next stop is sort of
all-time low. Yeah.
No. Well,
Not
I was
quite,
going to say
but
maybe the next step is like either 40536 or 405. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping we can just bust above that 50% mark there and get above the 4082. I think then we'll be sort of looking good. So, these things you got to let it play out over long periods of time. I did mention this, that in previous halvings, I remember buying before a halving, and then because I was such a noob, I was like, oh, there's a halving, there's these rainbow charts, and Eric Wall says that these rainbows go up forever, which is kind of a little bit stupid, because rainbows eventually go down. Like, so I don't understand why. I mean, it's color coded. Maybe that's why they've gone with that. But yeah, and then
you guys, sorry to jump in. Have you guys seen the rainbow chart on Look Into Hex?
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Yo, that is the most like wrecked rainbow chart I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, those rainbow things, I don't know. I mean, it's just like a logarithmic regression or whatever it is. Like, it's a logarithmic chart. Like, it's not, but the way that they do it, it's sort of like, it's something magical about it. It's the rainbow. Even Eric Wall took.
Yeah, it's good while it was on a good trend. It's like the Hex versus ETH and BTC chart. At one stage that was looking amazing, and not so nice to look at these days. So.
Yeah. I might pull that up in a second, just have a quick look at that. But yeah, I noticed with the rainbow chart, it's like, they got the Roy G. Biv, and then they just went below, and they're just going, oh, it's ultra, it's like it's got infrared and ultraviolet. They're just adding like extra spectrums in there because it didn't fit. And then, did we include Indigo? Oh, they're just making shit up to try and make it fit. But yeah, the point I was saying is with the previous halving is I expected it almost to instantly give me some reward. This is in the previous halving, like in 2020, I think it was, and it must have been. And then it went down, and I think I sold some bags. So not all, but I was pretty despondent after the previous halving. So yeah, just don't let that learn from my mistake, and just look into the bigger picture. After the halving, this type of stuff happens. You know, it's a bit of a lull at the moment, but I think you really have to look sort of over the next 12 months to see some serious action. I guess that's what we're hoping for.
Well, let's be like honest and realistic about, you know, the next 12 months. Is there a point where, you know, you turn around and say, well, this is, you know, I think we could all say this is not where we all thought it would be at this point, right? So maybe our expectations were out of whack, right? So is there a point in the next 12 months where, you know, the ecosystem, the you know, the Pulse, the core coins, the Richard Hart tokens are at in the next 12 months that we're not happy with? At what point do you maybe need to change your worldview or change?
Yes.
Is there a point? Like what is that point?
I have a theory about this, and unfortunately, really to know for sure, you have to kind of risk the chance that you won't, you know, that you won't get the gains from the cycle that you're hoping, because, but that's the risk, right? Like,
can you explain it? Explain what you mean by that.
Of course. So there's a good chance that the SAC wallets are going to pump during the rest of this year, and there's a good chance that we will just onboard other people for whatever reasons, and people will be buying up the chart, and then just general you know, euphoria, momentum, bonded liquidity from the other markets and things like that could just drive the price of Pulse up. But if you look at and I think we've all sort of aware of this, that how Hex sort of pumped after Ethereum had topped in the previous cycle. So if you were expecting maybe something similar, Pulse and Hex could actually pump after Ethereum has topped out, right? So then, you'd have to risk it until that point. And so I think Ethereum
that's what
topped
happened
out
last time. Yeah,
that's exactly what happened last time.
But then the thing is, BTC did a double top, and that was out of character.
Yeah, no one could really predict that. Yeah. So yeah, so in terms of like, that's like a theory, like a fan fiction theory, is that, you know, if you had Ethereum topping 27 days after the BTC top, and then from that point, that Ethereum made, you know, people, whoever it was cycling Ethereum into Hex from that point and pumping the chart. I mean, you've got other things to consider, like the SACs for PulseChain and PulseX and things like that. But then the theory would be that by the, you know, for you to know whether PulseChain was successful, you would have to wait until after Ethereum has topped, and then give that another 6 months almost, because then to see the effects of that. So you pretty much have to wait until the cycle is completely done. So that's what I was saying with the risk.
Why do you say 6 months? Why do you say wait 6 months? Do you think it would take Ethereum 6 months? Yeah. Why such a long? Why, like, what's the? But you're saying that you wouldn't know if it hadn't worked until 6 months after that.
After Ethereum had topped, that's when you would know whether you were wrong. Like your investment thesis is like wrong, sort of thing. So it's a bit of a risk, right? But then see, that may not play out at all. Like the SAC wallets could just pump it all next week. But you know, and then I don't know whether it's useful for us to be as a community just to be waiting on SAC wallets to be buying our bags. Like, really, we want to be active in getting adoption, getting more people out there, and just pump it. And then if that's happening in the background, then that's a plus, right? So yeah, it depends on how you look at it. I think some people will kind of maybe erroneously think that they can take their money, put it into something else, pump it, and then bring it back just in time for that pump. But I think that's a super risky play. So, because these things can run against you, and you can end up getting.
That's right. However, when you say it's super risky, and look, it's this thing where it's all, I guess some people would perceive it to be risky just to keep everything in this one spot.
Yeah,
that seems to be underperforming. Even though it is up, like you look at the ecosystem, it's up from the bottom. I mean, I'm not a chart person, but I look at the chart and I think, well, it doesn't feel like we're going back down to the local cycle low from when was it? A few months back. It doesn't feel like we're going back there. At the same time, it doesn't feel like we've had that takeoff that we were expecting. And one thing I've noticed anecdotally over the last few years of being in crypto is that when people when the community, and this is potentially a weakness of the community, it is potentially a weakness that when we all jump on the narrative and we all think it's a particular narrative and we say, oh yeah, this is what's happening. That's not going to happen at that point because we're all thinking it's going to happen, and that negates it happening because everyone's just jumped on into the same boat.
Yes.
So it can't happen at that point because it needs to be only a small percentage of people who can be right when it comes to taking profits or being profitable, right? Not everyone can be by definition. There has to be people buying. There has to be people buy. I mean, the same is for anything: stocks, houses. Someone has to buy the top of the housing market for there to be the top of a housing market.
Yeah. So I think there's that euphoria aspect to it, and it is interesting in terms of. Sorry, I forgot exactly what I was going to say.
I'll go quickly.
You had a couple of things I was going to say. So yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like Yaveen's mentioned about the, are we including the trial with the SEC in this sort of conversation? I think that's one point where if we get some positive news with that, if it's late this year, it could go on for years and years, though. You never know. But if it is late this year, I think we'll see a fairly decent sort of pump and price rise in the whole ecosystem off of that, because I think a lot of whales that might have pulled out just taking the risk off the table while they've had some sort of reasonable price. I think if they get some confirmation from the SEC case, they'll go back in, and I think that'll pump it pretty well. And then it's up to the rest of the market, the larger market as a whole, as to what happens with later on with the full bull run. That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, that's interesting that you say that. Go ahead, 43.
I think the Ethereum ETF, even though I think, correct me if I'm wrong, the SEC has sort of smacked that back somewhat. But from the perspective of the Hong Kong ETF, Ethereum ETF, I believe that's happening on potentially happening on the 30th of April.
I read that as well.
If that happens, could that breathe some more life into the EVM ecosystem, which PulseChain is a part of?
Sure. Look, I think that you guys making a lot of great points, and so it is interesting when you kind of think that the crowd is nearly always wrong. Almost by definition, the crowd can't always be right, and let's just be honest. Crypto's not easy, right? So people aren't just retiring and getting Lambos every day of the week. This most often than not, people get wrecked in crypto, and there's like a small window where people actually do really, really well. So it's almost by definition, it's not going to be as easy as what we say. And that's why, when I was saying that thing about the fan fiction sort of stuff, it's entirely possible that does not play out like that way at all. And there's other fan fiction theories, about the 50 weeks and then it's going to pump, because Richard mentioned that thing about the hockey stick and the 50 weeks to shake out the weak hands. And then there's other things which is like
too literally, man.
Yes, exactly.
Take them, Richard Hart said some shit 4 or 5 years ago in an unrelated stream about PulseChain before it was even conceived. He said some random shit like 4 or 5 years ago, and people like get attached to this idea that it's going to play out in that way. It's if everyone thinks it's going to play out that way, guess what? It ain't playing out in that way. If everyone thinks it's going to happen that way.
It's that same sort of idea where in general, the crowd is not always right. So if you have these multiple narratives, it is kind of interesting that you sort of say the ETFs, like the Ethereum ETF, if that performs like how the Bitcoin ETFs went. But with the Hong Kong one, so there was some BTC ETFs in Hong Kong that preceded the BlackRock ETF, but I think it didn't really make a huge difference. I think it was, or maybe it was after, but it didn't really cause a huge difference in the price charts. But what really made that huge difference was when BlackRock was doing the Bitcoin spot ETF. So we might see, once we see that, or maybe ARK Invest or some of these other big, like really big players do a spot Ethereum ETF, we could see some pump off that. But yeah, so there's a lot of these little different narratives, the SEC thing. But what I found is sometimes when there was like negative SEC sort of news going on, like with the trial, Hex and PulseChain was actually pumping. So it can kind of it can go the opposite way. So it's not always as simple as
it's not automatically. Yeah, it's not an automatic down for the price chart if there's maybe non-positive news from the SEC side of things.
Yeah.
Like I honestly believe, like, you could have whatever news you like. You could have World War III breaking out. If there's a Richard Hart live stream,
yeah, that could just fully pump it.
Yeah,
the ecosystem will see a green candle for sure. It just automatically pumps confidence into the ecosystem, and maybe he's very mindful of that and doesn't want to do that for that reason. Maybe he just wants the ecosystem to just deal with it and do its own thing, which
look, he's pretty active on Twitter, and so he hasn't gone away. He's still there tweeting, mainly more about our rights and erosion of our rights, I should say, with a lot of these court cases and things that are coming out. There was, I think someone mentioned it in the chat, actually. I just saw it out of the corner of my eye. Oh, was Yaveen said something about Consensus also suing SEC. So yeah, I think he tweeted that, and he was sort of saying that there was something being omitted about, because in that court case, they were trying to get clarification from the SEC as to whether Ethereum would be a security, and then that would set a precedent and things like that. So there's a lot of that sort of stuff that he's active about. And yeah, the banning of the attempt to ban self-custody wallets, I thought that was pretty.
Is that the IRS that's wanting to do that in the US? The IRS wanting to classify non-custodial wallets as brokers. Yeah, good luck. I mean, that is like, good luck with that. Really, good luck with it. So do you know what the issue is with that for the IRS? And the issue is that you can send someone 12 words in the mail, and because they've opened the letter and read the 12 words, now they theoretically have knowledge of a broker. That's the problem with it. you know, and then you can send them, and I don't know what the laws are like in the US, like whether airdrops classify as whatever. You can send them a token that you've traded, like a billion tokens, that one of them has traded for $1. So the market cap is like $1 billion. They get $1 billion worth of tokens
on paper
by, and then now because they've read 12 words and they've had $1 billion worth of tokens sent to them, are they now like this whole thing gets once the absurdity of it is demonstrated, I don't see how they can go ahead with it. And all that needs to happen is it gets demonstrated to enough politicians who can affect change at the IRS.
Yeah, that's just crazy, man. I mean, we kind of knew this was coming. I think we mentioned it quite a long time ago. We were like, at some point, they're going to try and crack down on self-custody because it's control, right? Like, this is the thing that the governments like to do is they, and they're talking about, I think in the US, increasing the capital gains tax and things like that, so that you've got this inflation that's going out of control, and then people getting into assets, and then they try and crank up the capital gains tax.
That wasn't even the one that was absurd. The one that was absurd was 25% tax on unrealized gains. Unrealized
that was
gains.
Ridiculous.
That's absurd. That's
It's
like
ridiculous.
the most absurd thing I've ever heard in the world. Like, it's just it beggars belief. It really does that people are actually putting these ideas forward.
Yeah, and it's effectively about control. So that's really what it boils down to. I think they know that they can kind of control the Bitcoin through the ETFs and maybe Ethereum and things like that through ETFs in some regard, and particularly because I think they've been stacking them. Some of these institutions have got like a ridiculous amount. So that's rather than banning it, because like you were saying, you can't enforce it. It's just, if you can't beat them, join them. But then they just have joined, but in a way that's sort of outweighed everyone else. So then they still retain some control. So yeah, it's a bit disheartening to see that. Anyway, but that's probably just me ranting about the government again. I just wanted to bring up real quick that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, obviously all this stuff is you see it and it's worrisome. I would really be getting worried if you see universities cracking down on maths courses and things like actually like doing the whole dark ages, we need to burn the books type angle.
Come on.
Hey, dude, like you don't like, I would not like what I've seen in the last 5 years. If you had told me 5 years ago what I've seen in the last 5 years, I would say like, you're crazy. There's no way. Right. And now for me, a lot of stuff that would probably never have been on the table is on the table, as far as like, I wouldn't say it can't happen nowadays.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, but I do like the idea that you should never attribute malice to something that you can that can be explained by incompetence, because that's that sort of Venn diagram of corruption and incompetence that I sometimes talk about, where some of these guys, they're just so bad at their job and they try shit on, like they're trying. Let's see if we can just ban self-custody, and wouldn't it be great if we could just put a 25% tax on unrealized gains, and if we just crank up the capital gains and tax and do a whole bunch of things, and then give everyone digital ID or see if they go for it. And then they just wait for people to kind of go, this is bullshit, and then go out in the streets and kind of protest, and they go, okay, maybe we might not get reelected if we go too hard with this. And then so they push, and then they wait and see. So it's kind of up to us to sort of voice our opposition.
Why the push for more tax? Why the push for more tax revenue? I mean, does it have anything to do with sending so much money overseas, like to fund wars? Could it have anything to do with
laundering? That's just straight up laundering in my mind. All the money that gets sent into wars these days, and probably since forever, is pretty much just washing their money so they can funnel it back into the presidential re-election campaigns and into their pockets, really. I just consider it to be laundering most of it. So it's a sad state of affairs. I could go into that in greater detail, but that's basically what I think. So no, in terms of like, why would they raise the capital gains tax? Because everything, why do they do anything? It's so that they can put more money in their coffers and more money in their pockets. It's Occam razor for me. That's like the most simplest answer, is often correct, and it's because they benefit from it at the cost of, you know, to your detriment, unfortunately. I just wanted to bring out real quickly, because Maddie did mention, because I mentioned that he was running a SAC, and, you know, each their own. I love Maddie. I think he's a nice guy and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm not. I'm sort of SAC fatigued. But you know, I don't know much about it, so maybe I need to watch the Adam Stokes one to know what he's doing.
I don't know if you even need to necessarily like sacrifice, like as in send money or send, like, I don't even know if that is necessarily a requirement. I think.
Oh, I thought he was doing something with a SAC.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can, but I'm not sure that is even necessarily required. I think you could potentially get people to benefit from this. It could be more like an altruistic type thing.
Well, I don't even know what Maddie's project is, to be honest.
So, yeah, can someone explain to us about it? Because I've been out, not able to watch his streams for the past week, but I've seen a lot of talk about it. But I don't think, you know, I like Maddie too, and so I don't think there'd be something that's, you know, he's trying to go against the community with it. I think everything he does is trying to get the community together. So I know it's about free speech, though.
There's very few people who have done what he's done.
Yeah, that's right.
For a community,
he's earned
off his own back, unpaid. Like,
a bit of credit.
I think people are so like quick. They just want a whipping boy. They just want someone to heap on,
blame,
and it's sort of disgusting. It's sort of disgusting that people would like automatically like go put shit on Maddie with what he's done. It's sort of disgusting, man.
In a way, I know it is bad, and I don't like all the words that are getting thrown around, but it is kind of a bit of flattery, because everyone does look up to him, and then they're thinking now this is a turn for doing something, you know, something bad. Whereas he's getting more attention from that than like Gunther did for coming back and making a coin. You know, so I think in a way, you know, I think Maddie would have much better intentions than him, you know.
Oh yeah,
so,
100%. That's a no-brainer.
We call that more about this though, like the sacrifice and what it's all about. Yeah.
You know, we called that we dodged that bullet with Gunther. As soon as we heard that, we were like hard pass. So I think that was probably prudent. So Maddie's thing. One thing I'll qualify is that, so when people look at streamers or whatever and they say, "Oh, you guys doing a terrible job, doesn't stop drinking beer on stream," or whatever, it's like, you should fully step up and do a better job than me, please. Please do. Like, literally make your own channel, do a better job, because like, that's, if you honestly think you can, and I hope that you can, because I would rather you do a better job and I can just sit at home and drink beers and watch you stream.
Yeah, so, that's right.
You know, don't take your anger out on us, guys. Like, if we're doing a shit job, just do better. Like, literally let us inspire you with our shitness, our shit performers, so that to do something better than us. And so that's the same thing. It's like, you shouldn't criticize other streamers or people. Just do better yourself. Like, you don't need to bring them down or whatever.
Exactly.
And so Maddie's got some really interesting things. I remember him talking a while back about the best kind of incentivization is monetary incentivization. And if you could somehow sort of break some habits and things like that, like say smoking or whatever, cognitive behavioral sort of therapy stuff, where you financially penalized when you do a habit that you want to break, then that sort of is the best kind of way for you to break a habit. So I don't know if it's got anything to do with that. I probably should have actually watched his thing, but he's got some really good theories and interesting stuff. So if people don't want to stack, they don't have to. Like, don't do it. Like, no one cares.
And by the way, he has like created things for the community, like just usable things. Like he had tshare.app, which was a front end for hex staking, which he made, and I assume he just paid for it out of his own pocket. He also has that time pays me
That's great.
contract, which people can use. I think anyone who jumps to the conclusion that he's just doing something malicious or nefarious, it's just
Yeah, he's just not that type of guy. Like, you can tell.
It
his
doesn't mean it's
character
not possible, but I just think that, like, shouldn't you, like, people need to, like, be informed before they just jump to conclusions. That's the point I want to make,
Yeah. And it could also be like a tax thing as well, or a SEC thing, where it's like, this is the best way to do a sack is when you literally have no expectations because no one knows what it is that he's doing.
That's true.
So it could have been that. I just want to do a quick shout out to VTX, my man, VTX Crypto. He's a legend.
Yeah.
He's a friend of the channel. Shout out to Somi for stealing that line. But VTX is a good guy and he's funny and he's always welcome on. Although I think it is quite early in the morning for him. Who else we got here? KD, g'day. Free speech, what's up? Yeah, it's embarrassing, man. The Australian leaders across it. We talked about that. Jackie Lambie, man, far out. Yvonne, good luck with SU trying to prove I know 24 words.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty interesting, isn't it? I like that it's kind of like borderless as well. Like, you can remember a 12-digit mobile phone number. You could easily remember 12 words. 24 is not that much of a stretch. You could just walk around with that knowledge, or you could do a who was it? It wasn't Justin's son. One of the guys that got arrested they found him with a ledger up his ass.
Whoa!
Do you remember that?
Shelved it. Yeah.
One of the guys who it was like, how there was all like
cue the prison wallet joke.
Yeah, Jesus. But so how there was all like the Terra Luna, all that sort of, just maybe it was Duquan. I think it was Duquan. They found him with a treasure up his ass.
Man, USB-C cable or USB cables are bad enough to get a connection out of when they're clean. Bloody hell.
Oh man. That's what? Maybe I shouldn't go into this, but yeah, you can actually get USB-C cables, right, that have Wi-Fi interception stuff. There's like hacker stuff where you can interchange someone's USB-C. You plug it into your phone, and you can actually hack that guy's phone through the USB-C cable. So there's some shit
like
out there.
You can like connect up to it through like a browser type thing.
Yeah, there's some crazy stuff. They've all got funny names like rubber duckies and stuff like that, but there's some cool hacking stuff out there. Not that I know much about that stuff, but
just putting it out there.
That's it. Yeah, Maddie, I'm assuming that's mail and crypto are both free speech. Okay. That just reminded me real quick. There is a competition going on at the moment. Hex postcards. If you guys haven't already, either vote for the postcards that you like or make your own. I think you've got 2 days to enter this contest. So you can win $400, maybe $800 now, because looks like Hexlina is putting in. But they're doing some sort of direct mail.
I saw someone like putting shit on all the entries, just saying, "Oh, they all suck" or whatever. Like,
was it too spooky? I saw one of them.
It might have been him, and then I think he did one that just said, "What did it say?"
He said it was like, "It's okay to buy Hex."
It's okay to buy
like
Hex,
that.
and then the other side is like hex.com, and it was just like that was it on a white paper, just black text on a white paper.
Nice.
Yeah, look, he may not be wrong. I'm a little bit undecided as to whether, because think about who they're marketing this to. Because I think one of the criticisms was, oh, look, there's just a bunch of white guys or a white family or something on there. And it's like, okay, I didn't realize we're being racist. In fact, there's fully an Asian family on this one. So I'm not sure that was what that was about. But I don't think that, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't think race is really a part of it. But yeah, people were having a cry about it and saying, oh, there's too many words. And this is a case of exactly what I was talking about. Oh, you don't think that this is going to appeal to someone for whatever reason. There's too many words, there's too many colors, you don't like the percentage. Well, that's okay. Do a better one. You can literally do a better one. But Too Spooky's one where it's just said it's okay to buy Hex. I don't know. I don't know if that would do it for me, but I'm not sure I'm really buying anything.
I actually understand that perspective. I think it makes a lot of sense. The reason I think it makes a lot of sense is because think about what that is. That's mail that you get in your letterbox that you did not ask for. Yeah. You don't want. You don't want to spend the time reading because you don't care.
That's true. Yeah.
Right. Think about how much stuff that you get in the mailbox that
but also
you're not interested in at all.
Okay, but so the counter to that is this is meant to be, sent to people who are in wealthy neighborhoods, right? Maybe they don't have a job. Maybe they've got a little bit more time to read stuff. And I don't know. The idea is that this is meant to appeal to a more affluent, I guess, part of the society, maybe. But I think that's who they were going to try and target. And so, I
would argue that, and I'm not submitting anything, but I would argue that if I was to submit something, I would probably have a website, something like the card would be very, very simple, very basic with only very, very few words on it, because I think that's the right approach given the limited amount of bandwidth people have for unsolicited advertising. Like people are not interested in ads. They're trying to avoid ads, right? So this would be my angle. My angle would be like do something with very little text on it, and then a link, and a very simple link, like has to be really, really short and easy, potentially a QR code as well, to go to a video that gives them a teaser 1 minute, like 30-second rundown of what this is all about and something to get them in a bit further. I think that's probably...
I agree, bro. I agree with everything you said. And that's why I think I like this Hex Getter one, number 37, maybe. So, because I was thinking, if it's more an affluent sort of suburb that these are being mailed to, if you saw this and it just said, miss Bitcoin in 2009, it's like they know what Bitcoin is, right? They think all crypto is Bitcoin, but then they think that they've missed it. Like, so it plays on that FOMO emotion. So it's not a lot of words on that one. Did you miss Bitcoin in 2009? Like, I think that's smart. Like people recognize Bitcoin. They go, oh, and then you turn it over. Oh, okay. And then Bitcoin dips 70%, more than 4 times on its way to $2. And then the QR code, like you said, Hex logo, hex.com, simple. So I actually like this one. So, they're not all shit. You can you can vote for them or do better.
Surely
it's better than doing nothing, right?
So if that was to go to a video, let's say that card was to go to a video, the video should be like 30 seconds long. And it should say something along the lines of Bitcoin was X dollars in 2014, whatever it was, I can't remember how much it was, $200, whatever. Hex is this far along, this far along, 5 years in, just like Bitcoin was back then. Like something that only goes for 30 seconds. I'm doing a really poor job of articulating. I haven't thought this out at all, but I think that the sentiment should be that if it was going to be a video that connected to that particular card, it should say something along those lines.
Yeah. I'll put Maddie in for that.
just
Maddie
to
should do
demonstrate
the
the
video.
opportunity.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I reckon Maddie should do that video. He's the guy for that. And then put it on the card. And I was thinking, even later down the track, a couple of months later, it would probably be good to hit that place or those addresses again with something based around the highest of stakes, to get, bring it back to people's minds, but then they watch the movie about it and it might entice people a bit more. So I think it would be good to include the highest of stakes somewhere, but probably not first up. It's probably not the first thing to pull you in. I'm not sure, but
yeah. I always thought that this kind of one was funny. Yeah, maybe this is. I just tried to Google it then, so it's not. I've lost it. 2 seconds. A bit easy to read here. So this is a very famous tweet from May 2011. I wish I had kept my 1700 BTC at 0.06 instead of selling them at 0.3. Now they're at $8. I just butchered that, but yeah, you get the idea. 1700 BTC. And that he's spewing that he sold them at 30 cents because now they've got to $8.
Yeah.
What's that, 130x or something? What is that?
Ooh.
Still done well.
133x? Let's work that out.
Yeah.
0.06 times 100.
So he bought it at 6 cents. And then he sold them at 30 cents. So he only got a 5x. And then but he's saying that he's lamenting that, I could have sold them at $8 and now they're like 70 grand each. Yeah. So yes, 1700, or even just like rough maths, 1,000 BTC is like $70 million. So it's got to be just under twice that. So it's like over $100 million. So yeah, that's the type of shit that can happen. And if you look back at some of the, the early adoption amplifier stuff and things like that, you see people throwing, people threw a lot of hex around in the early days, and you're kind of looking at it going, God damn, like that's so sometimes when you get that unit bias thing where you're kind of going, this is not worth that much in dollars. Here's $1 million, here's 10 million, there's 100 million, like who cares? So I think people might regret that with Pulse as well. Putting, million Pulse here, million Pulse there.
Yeah.
Buying NFTs and then just kind of going, bruh, that could have been worth so much more. So, but yeah, anyway, I thought that might be a good thing to put on one of the cards, but I just didn't have the time to do
it. Guys, I'm going to say goodbye for the day. Enjoy the rest of your stream. Man. See you later to everyone in the chat. I got some stuff I got to do. So
no worries at all, bro.
Cool, man. Take it easy.
Appreciate your time. Yeah. Good to see you, 43.
See you later.
Cheers, mate. Yeah, awesome. I was going to see if I can pull up a couple of things as well. But yeah, let's just check the chat and see what's up. So government is very incompetent at times. That is an understatement. VTX saying the president can't even stay awake while making a speech. Yeah. Wrecked.
It's shocking. Yeah.
G'day, Ash. How you going, mate? Yeah. Think of the word sacrifice. Yeah. Gunny Boo. Oh, he did not last long with that, did he? Like we got kind of said, Gunther might have a what is it? A real time change of worldview in real time, and he might end up dumping that. But I didn't think it would be within 24 hours. That's like a new record, eh?
Yeah, definitely. He was only on there for a short amount of time this time around. Wait till he comes back again. But that
Yes.
had to have been a bottom signal, or close to a bottom signal anyway. We've gone down a bit more, but
it's hard to tell, man, with this
Yeah.
sort of stuff. There was some slanderous video that came out the other day, and people were saying that could be a bottom signal. That was like, that was pretty hardcore. Thanks for that. Thanks for the respect for streaming. VTX, you know how it is, because he streams as well. So it can be hard to kind of come up with content and stuff. And plus, like, positive content, you know, if we've been down for 7 weeks, it's hard to kind of just be going, let's go, you know. And it's also, one thing I will say is, it's really easy to do the Rand thing, the banter fam, and to some extent, Ivan on Tech and some of these guys, where you just talk about moon targets for everything. Like, you just kind of say, check out this, check out this coin here. It's going to be this much by this time, and it's going to do a 100x here, and it's going to do 1000x here. And then just next week, just talk about a new coin and say how that's going to do 1000x, and just literally pretend like that last coin like never even happened.
Yeah,
because that's what these guys do. They just shill these coins. A lot of the times they're getting paid in the coins that they're shilling.
Yeah,
and they're dumping on you as they're shilling it. But in terms of like exciting content, it kind of feels like, oh my God, he said that it's going to go to the moon. Oh, that's awesome. But they're just wrecking you. Like, so we don't do that here, where we just say it how it is, and it may not be, the most exciting way to present it, but I'm not going to try and talk about all sorts of coins. If they look like shit, then I'm just going to say they look like shit. So, and that's, it is what it is. So, and if people want to shill any tokens for us to look at, happy to chart them and to do a quick look at those as well. We can do the show me what you got. So that's always
just on that, what you were saying about seeing all these people that are just shilling the next moon bag and stuff like that. It's hard as a newcomer into crypto to dig through those weeds, because hang on a sec. You say hello quickly.
Hello, sweetie. How you going?
We'll jump off.
That's cool. You can just pause for a sec, and come back, man. No worries. I can chat about some charts or whatever. Oh, actually, I'll say hello to the chat here. That was cute. Matty 6 minutes behind, 2x. Yep. Good luck understanding our lingo. Yeah. I think, is he talking about Aussie lingo? It's going to be rubbish recycling market. Oh, so I'm a little bit behind here, maybe. Oh, there you go. You've been saying something positive there. Thanks, Maddie, for all you do. Appreciate you, Maddie. Once we're at $1, make sure to send them all and be like, you missed out. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's probably the postcards. That would be so funny. You just be like, the first one that you send them is the, did you miss Bitcoin or whatever? And then you just send them the other one and say, sorry, you missed it again. No, that's funny. Postcards definitely an angle. Yeah, I think Richard has talked about this. So, he obviously thinks it's huge, and Richard does know a lot about marketing. So agree with what you guys said about being positive towards builders and organizers. Yeah, that's true. I mean, look, these guys are going out of their day. Like, they got shit to do, like 43. I just had a piano lesson before. I got to go to the gym or whatever. Like, we're doing stuff, True Blue's got family stuff going on. So we're doing this stuff, and some of these streamers and stuff, they're doing it out of for the community. They're putting in some time and effort, so they don't have to do this, so it's nice to kind of support them. If you think that we're pumping your bags in some regard, then it's nice for you guys to help us get the message out or whatever. But yeah, and the builders as well. I've noticed a lot of people talk about the builders, and I'm a big fan of people building stuff. But then sometimes it's like people don't like it when people build things that they don't like. But you don't get to decide. That you can say you can build stuff, but if, say for example, people want to build some gaming thing, so like a gambling thing where they're like gambling on whatever it is. And then you might say, well, I don't think you should be gambling on the blockchain or whatever. Well, then don't do it. Like, don't gamble on the blockchain, but let the guy build. Like, let the man cook. You know, Tangang.
Yeah, that's right.
People have a cry about the way Tangang are doing things. If you don't like it, don't join the Tangang. Like, the mute button is your friend if that's what you don't want to do. If you think it's funny and you like memes, then maybe lean in. Like, everyone gets that choice. So you probably shouldn't like tell people what to build and what not to build. I think we should just encourage people just to build in general, and then it'll be literally survival of the fittest. The things that are strong will survive. So then you don't have to make that. But yeah, shout out to Maddie for doing the organization. I will be on the PulseChain conference that's coming up.
Yeah.
And that's on the
10th.
1 year anniversary, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It was the 10th or 11th at
Could be the 11th.
Can't remember. Anyway, yeah, it's right. It's on that weekend anyway of the conference. So I was going to ask that to Maddie while he's lurking in the chat, and he's been here a while. So we're pretty blessed to have him there. But yeah, so after filling out the form for the conference, or you might even know, Dozza, we just wait to hear about if we've got a spot on there and where that might spot in. Yeah.
Just check the Telegram, man. There's a Telegram for the that should have got with that invite, and then it should have like a schedule. And then we just roll up and do the same thing we do here and just talk about stuff. But probably more focused on PulseChain. But it's pretty fun. You get to meet some people. I mean, I met that Donovan guy, and I met
you're on with Crypto Heartbeat, weren't you?
Crypto Heartbeat, DJ Cryptomatic, like some big players. I was really quite fortunate to meet some of these guys. So shout out to those guys.
Hey, while you were talking about building and stuff like that, and also the streams, you know, and staying positive, I was thinking about it the other day that you know, there's been with the prices being so far down at the moment, all the you know, people going over to meme coins and that sort of thing, and the Tangang and all this is actually really, really positive, because if everyone just disappeared because the price went down and no one was streaming and no one was active on social media and stuff, we'd have no community. So the fact that all these other things are going, and a lot of the bigger you know, people that are just into Hex or whatever, they're starting to, you know, buy other coins and that. Well, you know, at least we're all staying positive, and we're getting some you know, getting some dopamine from a few price bumps here and there. I think it's a real positive. Otherwise we'd just be dead in the weeds, and no one would know anything about us. So I think it's all positive, even though there's a bit of money getting washed away into different things from what we like. I think it's all going to come back around eventually.
It can do, but it can also pump money back in. I mean, it works both ways, right? Like, so I think I've talked about, you know, a couple of memes in the past that, you know, I was in on Pepe, did quite well, cycled some of that money into PulseChain, and then, you know, it did. I took some other money from other meme coins and things like that, and I put it back into Pepe because I thought that was going to do better, and then that did better again, and then I was able to take more money out. So it depends on whether you do that sort of stuff. You rotate your meme coins into your core, but I found that to be quite a good strategy, and people are doing that with Tangang as well. You know, people taking some profits from whatever dick with butt or something like that, and then putting it in. So
Exactly.
and then I was also going to do I was going to shout out the chat, but there really is just so many things going on here. Oh, Finbear's there. What's up? What's up? How you going?
There with the chooks.
There he is. Oh, the background. Oh, thanks, Matty. This is actually shout out to Lord Thrash. He made this. Actually, he made your Aussie one as well. So Lord Thrash has got some wicked AI stuff.
It's so good. Yeah.
But I was just going to bring up this interesting sort of clips from RH. This was on, I should shout out the person who tweeted it. Rel Logic, Rel. But it's basically, I mean, it's self-explanatory. But can you tell me if you can hear this?
Yeah, I can hear that. Yeah, I heard it play just then.
So,
Cool.
you know, Ethereum launched in a bear market, Hex launched in a bear market, and it looks like PulseChain and PulseX are going to launch in a bear market too. Cool. Best time to launch is in the bear market, in my opinion. You're going to have the coolest looking chart, right? So all the technical investors are going to love your chart, right? Hockey stick, right? That's my preference. You're going to get the most of that launching in a bear. If you launch in a bull, beginning of your chart's going to have a big old blah, blah, blah. It's going to create all this resistance on the way back up, and it's no fun, right? You got to fight every level on the way back up. I don't like that. I'd rather just have one nice hockey stick launch in the bear. Have 50 weeks to shake out the losers that don't believe, because you shake out these guys and they sell for way lower than they had to, and then they don't get the ability to sell later, and it makes it easier to go up. So price volatility and shaking out weekends, it hurts short term, the chart, and it's amazing for the chart long term. I dumped my free money real cheap. You sold your future. Good job, dude. Most people in cryptocurrency are apes, and they will do whatever they think they can make money with, regardless of the risk. And they're the reason that you hear about people losing all their money all the time. They have no concern for what could happen. They just care about, you know, yield or gains now. They don't think about, well, what happens if the front end goes down? What happens if the team is malicious? What happens? They don't care about any of that. And they just lose all their money. And I can tell you that in general, forks of Ethereum have done extremely well price-wise, extremely well. And I know that. So, and this is the first one of its kind to bring system state with it. Can PulseX do 100x? Why wouldn't, you know, what's wrong with 10,000x? Why can't it do that? Seems fair. It's well within the realm of possibility. If Ethereum did a 14,000x, which it has so far, why can't something that's better? And so I think a 14,000x is a reasonable estimate for what could be possible for Pulse, because that's what Ethereum did. And this is a very similar thing, but better.
So good.
Yeah.
And that gets me excited. Just hearing his voice, you know, watching videos of his always gets me excited, but hearing that stuff pumps you up. Yeah. So good.
It does. He's the GOAT for sure. And yeah, VTX, I think we all agree with that. We miss our HS streams. So but yeah, it's that sort of thing he's talking about with the hockey stick. Shout out to Hexagon Lost in Asia. You know, he really does think long time frames.
Yeah.
So I guess, you know, if you're looking at short time frames, it's hard to see the forest from the trees. So if you're looking at these daily candles and things like that, but yeah, I think it's also an opportunity to DCA and to lower your cost basis, and then you get more gains. So I mean, that could be the way it works out. And you notice that that's the language he uses as well in that video. He says that Ethereum has done this. This could do it in a similar way to Ethereum. It's probably unlikely that it would do 14,000x, that the same, but it's certainly possible. If you're going to give the parade of imaginary horribles, you have to present the possibility of the magic carpet ride, right? So equally, you know, likely sort of things. I think that's a good strategy to have, because a lot of people sometimes have fears and they think that something could go wrong or this and that, but you don't always think, what about the possibility that it could go right? What about the possibility that it could go better than you expected? So that's an interesting mentality to be in. I think it's actually something I've found useful. If I found myself stressing about things in the past, you think, well, you know, you're giving a lot of energy to negative possibilities that haven't eventuated. Why don't you put some energy into some positive eventualities that could happen? And then that sometimes makes me feel better. So yeah, look, who knows? We don't know. Crypto is not easy. I'm not pretending like it is, but DCAing has proved to be an effective strategy in dips. So I'm going to continue to do it and hold on for dear life.
Yep. Holding on tight. We'll get there. So
yeah, that's it. Matty loves the magic carpet rides. So look, he's got a good track record. So I think that's something to consider as well. It's not like someone's coming out of the blue and just sort of saying they can do this, and then they've never done it before. The other thing, or I was just talking about that hex postcards thing, is that Hodprul did a tweet during the week, and one of the things that I thought was cool about it was she has somehow managed to put PulseChain logos. So
Yes,
this
I saw that. Yeah.
on an energy drink. So I think this was actually the logo that she put on there, and she was able to customize these energy drink cans with logos. I thought that was a really good idea, because you can imagine going to some event or something like that, like doesn't matter what it was, like F1 or who knows, anything, UFC, something that's not related, golf, and people are getting energy drinks, and it's got the PulseChain sort of, things on there. That could be a really effective kind of advertising. So
I think so. If there could be a community rallying effort to get, to buy in bulk and get them sent out to an event, and then there's someone, handing them out, or, perhaps selling them, but you probably just hand them out. It'd definitely be a good one. If you could go to a high flight like golfing and stuff, or different events where, there might be people with a bit more money to spend. But yeah, I reckon it's great. Do you have the picture of her with the can to show the actual PulseChain can?
I don't, but let me see. It wouldn't be that hard to find.
Yeah, it does look great. The PulseChain drink.
Hodprul?
Yeah.
So yeah, Hodprul, she's amazing. She streams with clouds all the time. So people should follow her and stuff. But yeah, I assure you it's the can that I'm talking about here. So
No, it is killer. It's so good.
But yeah, insert joke there. But that I think is actually, and I mean the Aussie greatest guy as well. Shout out to this guy. He's doing does the PulseChain merchandise and stuff like that. These look really good. So have you got one as well, True Blue?
No, I don't have one of them. I'm waiting for the bull market to get one of them, but I'm waiting on a care package from EcoBuilder with some postcards and stuff like that. So I'm checking the mail. Speaking of checking the mailbox on this stream, I'm checking it regularly at the moment, because I'm keen as to get a hold of them, and the pins as well. But
I got some cool pins.
Keen on one of those one day.
Yeah. I mean, I think these probably more look better on the ladies. I don't know, but But yeah, I've seen a couple of guys rocking them as well. So, each their own.
Nice. Yeah.
That's what we need on the postcard. Correct. That is true. What were we doing with this?
Why isn't
come up
one
with
of them
slogans? We just put Hodprul on it.
Why isn't it on that page? Yeah.
Fail. Yeah.
Someone
why did we not think of that?
Builder. Yeah, that's it.
Jeez, what are we thinking? We should just put Hodprul on it from the start. We could have just wrapped that whole thing up. We don't need a competition. Like, it's done. Put KDP on the back. You've done it.
That's it. All set.
We can move on. Yes, I thought someone had mentioned a ticker earlier. I think it was Earn.
Yaveen.
Yaveen. So let's just quickly do that, and then maybe we can wrap it up. Oh yeah, let's just do that. Who cares? I think enough people.
Sure.
All right, here we go.
Show me what you got.
Jim, you heard them. Said, show me what you got.
Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh boy.
Still funny. Still funny. So this is the show me what you got segment. So in the chat, if you want me to look at some coins, now's your chance. Oh, John, there you go. That's the spirit. So I'm pretty sure someone mentioned Earn before, so I'm going to have a quick look at it.
Yep.
So now just to refresh my memory, Earn is the Power City thing, right?
That's right. Yep.
Why? Oh, sorry, this is not. You guys can't see that. So on Pulse V2, 168K. Okay, I thought it would have had more liquidity than that, to be honest. Let's have a look.
It's going
So
down.
this
It's at a good spot, I reckon, to just
this is
before you get into it.
no, go for it. But so this is the so you might have to tell me about this because I don't really know. If you stake or with Power City, you get Earn as a reward token. Is that what it is?
Yeah, you get Earn and what's the stable coin called again? You're gonna have to
PXDC, I think. PXDC.
So sorry,
Oh,
so
man.
yeah, it's basically like Loan is to liquid loans, and Loan is a similar looking chart at the moment. They're both bleeding out just because they're the
Bruh,
reward.
I don't want to be like talking smack about it too much, but this is a bloodbath. This looks like it's just being sold down by people who are earning it.
Yeah,
It's just they're literally treating it as yield to offset maybe the impermanent loss, or maybe they're I don't know exactly how that protocol works, but
so
maybe
you can
they
just
have a
buy-
deposit fee.
yeah, you can just buy, Earn, and stake it, and then you get the PXDC. But then if you use the stability pool and put PXDC in it, you get PXDC and Earn. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then you can sort of keep cycling it through. So at some point, I'd say it'll stop bleeding out and go the other way. But
it's just in a wicked downtrend. Yeah. And if you plot it against PLSX, it kind of seems like maybe you should just be in PLSX. But if you did plot it against PLSX, I guess you could argue if that's what you were doing ratio trades between, it does look like it wicked down here. This is at 2000, so let's say 2,200 PLSX per Earn. That's what it wicked down to, and that seems to it's wicked down to a couple of times down to there. So it looks like maybe it's forming a bottom, but yeah, not for me. I would rather see some confirmation that that's going to break out of its downtrend and go into a reversal into some sort of uptrend, because that's not pretty. All right, I did say I'd try to chart it. I didn't say I would say nice things if I didn't like it. Let's have a look at BBC. So this is the 9-inch one, so it makes sense there. 1.7 million in liquidity. And it's paired with SolidX now. Maybe that's why it's doing a little bit better.
It's paired, everything. They've paired that with all of the solid index as well.
That's right, of course.
Yeah.
280. So it's got more liquidity than Earn just in one of its pairings. $1.7 million. That's quite a lot. Let's have a look at the buys and sells, because I sometimes look at this and I wonder, this chart is, oh wow. Okay, let's just go log. So there's more sells, but more total volume. Okay, so there's less people buying, but they're buying more. So that's interesting metric. So that it kind of implies that there's more whales getting into this now than the little people. If you see what I'm saying, there's less people buying than there are selling, but they're buying more. So it's out. The buyers are outweighing. Look, this is an interesting chart against USD. It was down forever. People were just selling it as you normally would expect for a yield token. So if you had provided liquidity and you were farming it and earning BBC as yield, you would want to sell this to offset your impermanent loss. And then it started making higher lows, higher highs. Looks like it did quite poorly for a while, and then around about this April is where it's really kicked off. So I wonder how sustainable this is as a pump, because it's almost just like a stepwise function where it's just gone down for a long time and people didn't see a huge amount of value in it, and then all of a sudden it just started pumping, higher highs, high highs. Yeah. So, okay, in terms of resistance, let's just have a look at there's resistance here, right? There's a little bit of resistance here at 48 cents. It hasn't really reached there. I would expect it's going to get rejected off this.
Yeah,
But if it pumps through it, wait for it to retest it before it goes up. You know what I mean? Like if I was going to trade this, I would wait and see if it pumped through this resistance, pulled back, and then bounced off this 48 cents. That's how I would trade it. I would even hedge by selling a bit before going into that resistance because it could just get rejected, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, there's been a lot of positive news around 9-inch at the moment, which is, what BBC is all about. So that the stream with Hexy Bastard and BitBoy, and then promoting that BitBoy might be doing a coin, and that maybe staking BBC might get you, a portion of that, so I think a lot of people are buying up as well, in hopes for 9-inch to be building up with his coin as well. But there's a lot more farms on there for earning and staking BBC. So I think that's taking some of it off the market and stopping the selling, people staking.
Oh, good point. Good point, man.
Well, I'm just looking at it now, the BBC pools. So you can earn Nope token, which is Andy Hilarski's. There's a few others on there as well. So, might be what's happening there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go into it too much, but I think we looked at this at some point, and the farms, where is it? So,
yeah, if you go into
app.9inch.io,
yep.
So you got farms here, and then so there's the staking, but looks like BBC pools is what you're talking about there. So staking, this is the single-sided staking that I was talking about, where you can just stake PLSX and earn BBC. And then I think you have to pay, it's like 2% or something. So the deposit fee is why that's not just free money. But BBC pools, I haven't seen this before. So, okay, cool. You can stake BBC, you get Nope, one
so these are
bias coin. Lewis, I never even heard of that. And Huey.
So basically, if you're minting a new token, you can just put it straight in there. So if you make create your own coin, you can, like I said earlier, you can put a percentage of that straight into these pools there. So you could do it that way, where as a launch, you have to stake to be able to get the token.
Okay.
So they're trying to push people to do that.
Yeah, and I like the
there's some pretty good APRs in the farms at the moment, because the price is pumped as well. It's making the APRs look a lot better.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I like the idea of staking BBC for Solid X, but it depends. Yeah, because when BBC price was going down so much, it was not worth doing. But now the fact that it's doing well,
that's right.
Might be interesting. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for bringing that up, John, because we looked at it and then we learned something new. One thing I was going to say about the buys and sells before. So we talked about with that BBC that there was more sells than buys, but the price was going up because people were buying with larger clips. Yep. Whereas with, say, Pulse, you've actually got an interesting thing going on here where there's more people buying and the price is going down. So it's kind of a redistribution, if you like, where the whales had been selling and there's more people buying. So it's kind of a good thing, I think, in terms of a redistribution.
For sure.
And it could work out well for the smaller players. What's up, Spike? I think Yvonne was just saying PXDC was the stable coin. I don't think she wants us to chart that. Unless it's depegged wickedly. Like I know the Coast one hasn't done that mean reversion thing yet. So that's very interesting. Looks like VTX is still awake and he has mentioned TWV. I do not know what that is. Tits with vag. Oh my God.
No.
All right. Okay. Let's respect it. 6.5K with the liquidity. Look, when I see low liquidity like this, I'm slightly concerned because So this is on 9mm. It's up 250% for the day, but 6.5 grand liquidity. And then it's paired with Dick with Butt, 4.2. So let's just have a look at it versus Pulse.
I don't want to see the logo or the memes.
You can see it right there, bro. It's too late. Cheers with Fudge. Come on, guys. This isn't Ben Armstrong's thing, is it? He said he was doing another dick joke. Far out. Our whole community is loves the dick jokes. So anyway, apart from this being weird, I would look at the pooled PLS. Okay, so there's even less PLS than there is. So it's asymmetric, and there's 2.9K of liquidity of Pulse on that side. So that was interesting. Yeah, I don't like seeing it when you don't have a lot of buy side liquidity on the PLS, because sometimes you see tokens and it's like, oh, it's got 250 grand worth of liquidity, and you look on the Pulse side and there's like 6 grand, and you're like, hang on a tick, that's deceptive, right? Because if you're looking at the total liquidity, it's not a true story, because it's asymmetric liquidity with the 9mm pools. So just be mindful of that. So it looks like, this has been out for days. This has been out for weeks. I've never heard of it. Me
neither. Crazy.
So that's concerning as well, when something I haven't heard about it has been around for a long time. It almost implies that people have been, accumulating behind the scenes, and then now it's decided to just pump. But not much TA you can really do on that. Maybe on the 4 hour, it's just gone crazy today. So I expect that is what we call a parabola, and it's basically going vertical. So I would, it's going up as we talk. Someone is literally buying it. I hope they're not buying it because I'm saying bad things about it. So maybe it could keep going, but this is straight up gambling. This is like, there's no real structure here. It's in price discovery. It's an all-time high, low liquidity. You could throw your beer money on it if you wanted, but it could easily just retrace like 85% as well if this bubble breaks. So
basically, if you bought 4 hours ago, you're doing well. Probably don't buy now.
Yeah. If you bought it yesterday, and you're probably doing okay. But and it looks the same if you plot it versus Pulse. So that's cool. BTX having a laugh. That's cool. I think that's pretty much it, except for Red Squirrel with the Tetra P PLS. So let's just quickly check that out. Tetra P PLS. I seem to remember looking at this last week, and so this was the resistance. Sorry, this is the support that we drew last time. So just from these candle bodies, and it had wicked down to it. And look, it's doing about as poorly as Pulse. So you always have to plot it in Pulse to see how it's actually going. In fact, it looks very similar. So it looks like maybe this is, it's just going sideways against Pulse at this point. A little volatile with the wicks, but that mark there, 5.75 pulse per Tetra P seems to be support. So keep an eye on it. I think it could be forming a bit of a bottom here. I guess if it's dependent on the Pulse price and it's going sideways versus Pulse, it'll probably just depend on what Pulse does. That's it. But I talked about Pulse earlier and saying that I think that hopefully we're going to respect that that fib line. So I'll just bring it back real quick. There's a fib here at 61.8. It wicked down to. I don't think it's going to go below that, but we'll see. It's also sitting on that diagonal support, so hoping that it can spring off that. So be interesting to see. KD's having a laugh. That's good stuff. I do also wonder how Coast is going, but we shall see. G'day, Don Swan. New video from Decentralized Me. I haven't checked it out, so I'll have to check it. Or did you say it was 0.76?
Yeah, 76 cents at the moment. Yeah.
Oof.
It went down to
Oh,
72. So
Oof.
yeah, pretty
Yeah.
nuts.
That's that mean reversion thing, but you might be waiting a long time for it to revert to the
Yeah,
$1.
that's right.
So
Hey, Retrostatic just corrected what's going on with 9-inch there. There's no deposit fee. There's just a fee if you remove within 72 hours. So that's a good one just to clear it up.
is that with the farms or is that just with those pools like those?
I think it's the staking pools.
Okay. Because it seemed like the farms had up to 2%.
The farms.
Yeah, but I would have to clarify that. But
yeah.
That is
That's
awesome that it's just a fee if you hold it for longer than 72 hours, you don't have to pay that fee.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. All right. Is there anything else you wanted to chat about before we wrap it up, mate?
No, I think it's about time we wrap it up. But one thing I know that might finish up soon is there's a mint for NFTs for the Magic Carpet Ride guys called Golden Bean. So if you're into using their protocol, their liquid loans protocol or what is it? It's a front end called Barista. Basically, as far as I know, if you hold that NFT in the wallet that you're staking with or using the stability pool, I think actually you get a higher APR reward. So if you're into that, and someone like Yaveen seems to like those protocols, the passive income type protocols, the Golden Bean might be a good idea just to get that extra APR. So it's the website's hexoacoin.com/golden bean. But if you go onto the OX Barista Twitter, it's their most recent post. Yeah, do it.
So if you go to like more or something, is it on the HOA site? Can you get to it through there?
On the Barista site. So if you just go to Twitter and type in, I'll send you a quick link in the private chat.
Yeah.
There you go.
Shout out to Tangang. They're doing their Free Mint Fridays, no doubt. So check that out.
And I missed that one. This Golden Bean was on Tangang Free Mint and I missed it. So
there you go. You got to stay ahead of the game with this stuff. Oh, one thing I should really bring up really quickly as well is that there was that safe airdrop that came out during the week. So for people who had used Staker app and had created a smart wallet, and I think you had to have claimed like a year ago, you had to claim your tokens, then you would have got an airdrop. And some people were getting up to like $3,000, $1,500, whatever. So that was really cool. But just be really careful. I cannot stress this enough. If you're looking on Twitter and you think you might be eligible for this airdrop, first of all, unless you did the claim last year, which you probably didn't, because I didn't. So even though I had a Staker smart wallet, I didn't do the claim. So I don't think I can get the airdrop. So just forget about it. But be really careful you don't click on malicious links, because there's a lot of these malicious links going around on Twitter where people thinking that they can get this airdrop and they're probably just getting like rinsed, like just absolutely getting drained and stuff like that. So just be really careful about this. But if you do use Staker app, there are some people out there that probably maybe not aware that they might be eligible if they did this claim. And chances are, if you're not familiar with it, then you're probably not eligible. So, but I just wanted to bring that up real quick. And did you say you had? Oh, okay. This is the Barista thing here.
Yeah, it's just on their Twitter. You can check it out, and their links on there as well.
Let me see if I can pull this up, bro. So, is this the 0x buffer?
Just scroll down a little bit, and you'll see a Pepe frog with a golden bean coffee. Yep, there you go.
Oh yeah.
So if you click on that hexoacoin.com,
golden bean,
that's where you can mint it.
We were so close. Yeah, awesome. And so what is it like? How much is it?
I can't remember. It's in Bean tokens.
Okay.
I can't remember how many it was, but it's not much. It's not not much if you were to buy the bean and then yeah, basically mint it with that.
That's it.
So, but anyway, check it out and do as you will.
Flick
But
the bean. Flick
not
the
saying it's
bean.
going to do well, but yeah, go flick the golden bean.
Yeah. Give it a flick and see what happens. Who knows? But yeah, I don't know much about that, man. But what do you get with this golden bean? Like, what do you?
Yeah,
what
so
is it?
if you're
Can you use it
if
for
you're
later?
using the barista protocol, that's a front end for liquid loans, and you're using the stability pool with their the USDL token, holding that NFT gives you a higher APR. So that's what it's all about.
Gotcha.
So I'm not sure if it's the more you hold, the more APR you get, or you just need to hold one. I'm not sure, but do some research on it and probably get on the barista Telegram. But yeah, there's only 300 or 400 more to be minted. So just giving everyone a heads up. Yeah.
That's it. That's all we do here. We just tell people what's out there and we say, check this shit out. And if you like it, go check it out. If not, then that's all good as well. So
Exactly.
no, man, it's been good to chat to you. And
You too.
is there any other shout outs or anything you wanted to do before we wrap it up?
I reckon that's about it. Yeah.
Cool, man.
No, good, man. No, it's been good. And chat's been, there's a lot of people joining in the last few weeks, and I'm really enjoying that. And just love to see more and more people in here. So we'd love if you can give it a like and, share it on Twitter or something and give us all a shout
really
out.
appreciate it. Really appreciate the chat. And Replay Gang, thank you very much. Twitter bots,
Definitely.
love your work.
Love you guys.
Since we've got 55 live viewers, so that's like an
epic.
all-time high live viewers. So thanks very much, guys. Really appreciate it. The last thing I would say is that, dips are in the game, and that's how you reduce your cost basis. And sometimes, they can be a real blessing in disguise. So to sort of to put it one way. So and I think BTC is doing really well. What we shall see. It's kind of at a bit of a turning point at the moment. But yeah, this is what it is. This is crypto. You've got to strap yourself in for the roller coaster, and then just maybe go out and enjoy your life and watch a movie or play some cricket or whatever and go fishing.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly.
Awesome. Good to chat to you, True Blue. Thanks again to the chat. Thanks again, Replay Gang, and we'll catch you next week.
Catch us later. See ya.
Catch you guys. See ya. All right.